This is designed to be confusing. It has to be confusing. The reason it has to be confusing is because the mind is going to want to take something away from this talk. It wants value. You want value from me. I'm giving you true value in the truest sense of the word. Oh, yes, he is here. So there's Graham, he's just walked in and stuff like that. Yes, bro. Everything all right? Back here again. The reality is you want value here. That's why I do what I do. That's why I'm irreverent. That's why I break up the conversations that I'm having. That's why I'll be joking and everything. Yes, I'm talking something really profound. Even when I'm joking, it's profound. Because you want something you want to take away. I just say take yourself away. Have that conversation. We could go into the nature condition. J. Krishnamurti wrote volumes about it, and we wouldn't get to the end of it. And the reality is I can do 1 million more talks, sound 1 million times much more clearer. I'll still not get to the bottom of it. It's just whether we can just let it go. That's why I said there is no Sufi sitting on this stage. There is no Sufism here. There's no non-duality here. There's no Advaita. There's nothing here. There's just a guy sitting on a stage talking. If you can accept it's a guy sitting on a stage talking, that's it. Can you accept that? That's all it is. But the thing is, the acceptance of that makes a mockery of everything you've ever done. Imagine this was it. There was nothing after this. You could walk away, never come to a thing. The possibility is too big to accept. It's too huge to accept. I remember doing a talk in London years ago, and I said to the woman, you know who I am? She's like, yes. You've watched my interviews? Yes. You follow me on social media? Yep. So, I know what I'm talking about. I'm enlightened. So when they, yeah. I go, okay. So, from the Indian tradition, I go, with the power that I've got, I've planted the seed of enlightenment in your heart. It's done. You're finished. Go. 3 hours later, she was still sitting in the room because the possibility of leaving these rooms is too big. It's too traumatic for us to accept, which is why we have this. We are educated fools in the greatest sense of the word. But guess what? We won't let that stuff go because what's better than what we've got? We're terrified. And that terror is something we have to embrace. That, going back to Rumi, eliminate those barriers. The biggest barrier is the very fact that you're here. The very fact you listen. Can you eliminate this barrier? Because the last veil, as the Sufi says, that veil of knowledge, it's everything you know becomes a thing that kills you in the end. Which is why I had the intellectual knowing. I'd sat with teachers who wouldn't even bother to come to a place who'd be like, seriously? I sat with great masters of the universe. And in the end, that was my problem. Going back to the question of enlightenment. Enlightenment's the issue here. Can you let go of enlightenment? Because that's our last desire that's going to go. That desire to go home is our last desire. You're already home. And that's the scary bit. Can we let that one go? That's that final veil that reveals the lover to the beloved. And as it reveals the lover to the beloved, you realize that the beloved is me. That's what they say, Jisne apne aap ko pachana, usne apne Rabb ko pachana. He who recognizes himself recognizes his Lord. And that's about the 30th time I've said that today. It's crazy. And so it's blatantly out in this. This is why Wei Wu Wei wrote that book, The Open Secret. Look at the contradiction. It's an open secret. That doesn't make sense. It's meant to jam the mind. The open secret. Right? That doesn't logically make sense. What's he going on about now? Because it's meant to still the mind so for that moment we can see who we are and accept who we actually are. As we accept, everything's open. Everything opens up. We're home. And the paradox of it all is that we've always been home. We're always here. We're always going to be here. There is, as I said years ago, there's no death here. There's no living or nothing. We're here. We're going to live forever. It's an eternity. And it's an eternity captured in an instant. That's how crazy this thing is. But the craziness of it is that this is complete sanity. So insanity is happening outside in the world. Accumulation of wealth, blah, blah, but it's being dressed up as sanity. So the reality is, I said earlier on, the fool's wisdom is the best of wisdom because a fool is the wisest. Because he's let go of the story of this hype of himself. Why are you looking for explanations? There will never be an explanation that will ever satisfy your mind. There won't be. No explanation is ever going to satisfy your mind. And yet you come here with your mind wanting to figure out the universe entire with your mind. And then you go, but I'm not happy. He didn't say what I wanted to say. Or he said it, I'm happy, but am I still looking? Because we have to quieten the mind, we have to still the mind. That's the true stilling of the mind. Not this, oh yeah, I've got to get the thoughts going and everything. My mind works for me now. There's levels of ego that they talk of in Sufism, and there's one where there's an obedient self. There's an obedient ego that actually helps you. Because After all, the mind has to go back to doing what it's meant to do. You gave it the power. What is that thing that is prior to the mind? That thing that is prior to the mind, that gave it all the power, that created this story, that brought this existence in, is you. That's what you're looking for. That's why when you do what you do, you do. That's why mental health illnesses are going through the roof. That's why depression is through the roof. It's not a bad thing. It's an invitation. We're wanting to know ourselves. This could not have happened, as Bill said to me 5 years ago. It couldn't have happened. No way could Mike have put an event on like this. Mental health is a massive question. So what do? Do we medicate them now? Or do we actually have the conversations that matter? This is where the mystic comes in, because a mystic is living that reality, has the answers. Which is why now the mystics have taken the robes off, and the mystics are wearing jeans now. And the mystics are going out there. I know taxi drivers wandering around who are fucking amazing teachers. But that's how they are. So I've appeared in the form that you wanted me to. And I'll disappear in that form. Last year, I had to wear the swag kameez. I got up in the morning, I had a shirt and trousers, and I had swag kameez. And I saw a picture, I thought, that's it. This year, it's like, if you can't see it now, you're never going to see it. Let's leave it. Let's leave this conversation. You know, I bid you fond farewell, I will go about my business. It's really as simple as that. Because if we can see it now in the perfect ordinariness of it all, then we'll see that the thing that we're looking for on the mountaintop of, you know, the mountaintop of the Himalayas and stuff is actually right here, right now, on the Isle of Man. What more do you want? I've always wanted to say that at a talk, and I never thought I'd say it in the Isle of Man. So, you know, it's like a personal ambition. I'm kind of talking Punjabi today. So, yeah, that's what's so crazy about it. It's simple. It's so simple, I can do it. You know, I think Walt Whitman said it. He goes, if the truth was complicated, we'd all understand it. So I'm a simple guy. I don't really know much, you know. I live in Manchester, got cats. You know, I'm learning as much as I'm teaching. I'm failing and winning in equal measure. And that's the secret to it all. It's just sometimes just being here and showing up with whatever happens. You know, as in all great stories, my seeking started because of a girl. I was sitting in this pub, and if she watches on YouTube, she's going to kill me, but hey. And she said, I don't love you. And I couldn't understand. No, you carry on sitting out there. It's okay, it's good for you and stuff like that. This is the problem. People don't listen. I said, please, come in. They said, no, we're going to sit out there. We're going to be hardcore about it. So, yeah, the beautiful thing was this girl broke my heart. So as in all great spiritual epics, I started seeking. The funny thing is, she appeared in my life years ago. And we ended up having a conversation. What was really weird was, and I say this to everybody, her wisdom was greater than mine. Because I had my heart broken. And rather than just accept it, I went off on this mad journey to learn about realization and blah, 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 blah. She just got on with life. She got married, she had kids, it broke up and everything. And I always say her wisdom was greater than mine. Because the greatest wisdom is not to fly through the air. It's not magic carpets. It's not anything like that. It's to just be sitting here right now. That's what I'm saying. If you can accept that you're just sitting here, that's it. The answer is that you're sitting here. And I'm doing a talk. That's how crazy this whole thing is. This is what's so beautiful about this.
I think we're too human to accept a lot of that.
You become more human. Become human. Humanity is where it's at. You know, when I sat on the mountaintop and said things like the universe is just happening, it was great. And now when I hear someone's pain and someone's story and stuff, I find it's amazing. And there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of this, but it's such an opportunity now. We have this opportunity to redeem ourselves from our pain, from our stories, from our humanity. I would say take everything you know about this stuff and throw it out the window. And definitely, most definitely throw this talk out the window as well. Which is a contradiction, because what you're going to do is you're going to go, nah, I like him. I'm going to follow him on YouTube and I'm going to watch his channel, I'm going to buy his book, I'm going to do all of that stuff. And that's cool. I'll be living in that tax haven next to you then. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, I said it again. I've got to stop doing this, man. Do you know what I mean? I've heard apparently you guys get offended when I start talking about tax havens and stuff and everything. So, you know, it's got to be done. It's crazy. It's Saturday afternoon. I'm sitting in the Isle of Man doing a talk on eliminating the barriers to love. And God, it's amazing what we've done. Not just the barriers within us, the barriers in ideas, the barriers in society. So, yeah. Get on with it. Take the journey that really matters, that one that goes inwards.
Why are we
because acceptance will just carry on. Knowing will always carry on. We'll carry on deepening. We'll carry on having these conversations. We will carry on removing veils. And we'll carry on doing all of it. Realization is not the end. Realization is actually the beginning. That's when it really starts. And with that, thank you.